So, how's school going? I'm glad to be back, you know? Nina made good progress last year, but she still needs help with reading. Well,
No! What is up, guys? Welcome back to Awesome Kids TV. Sorry about the intro. The game Billcraft gave me the ad when I recorded a video again. Anyway, we're back for another super epic video, and as you can plainly see, I am making a Jurassic tropical island, a tropical Jurassic island. And for our Strange New Places expansion. Now, I know I said this already, but Microwave Society, you can't say California doesn't exist, because California does exist, but Red Links say your society does not exist. You've offended them. California is a permanently real state of the United States. You can't get rid of that state. You can't get rid of her. Anyway, as I was saying, the basic idea behind this island is, well, we are going to make it look as tropical as ever by making it separate islands, like separate, little patches of sand so that it looks like the island from Jurassic Park, and it has to look amazing. It has to look like it has been naturally generated and has been there for thousands of years. And according to my MLP G5 Strange New Places family movie fanfiction, Zephyrina found this island, this tropical island full of perfectly preserved dinosaurs in the middle of a mission to grab some eggs that were in need of a new mommy. And she is all like, well, it turns out I'm the pony to parent some eggs before they hatch or something. I don't know. So she takes the eggs. So she takes the eggs with her, and surprise, surprise, when she gets home, they start wiggling. They wiggle and start to hatch, and she's all like, oh my gosh, these freaking eggs are starting to flip and hatch. What am I gonna flip and do? And then bam, the eggs hatch. That is what my fanfic for MLPG5 has to say about that. Basically, Zephyrina becomes a future mom, and their mom, Queen Haven, becomes a future grandma. She becomes a dino grandma or something like that, and then called Granny Haven, by the way, Granny Haven. And then bam, Pip becomes like their auntie or sister or something. I don't know. That's what my fanfic is telling you guys right now. I know it sounds weird and kind of crazy. It is, but it's a real fan-made thing that I decided to make, and it is. Anyway, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, if you guys haven't checked out our MLP Tell Your Tale episode 27 reaction, go and check that out. And if you would like us to do a try not to laugh challenge video sometime, please send the video suggestions to us. Send them to us. And by the time we get to our favorite creations from 2022 video at the end of 2022 and the start of 2023, we will show you our favorite 2022 creations from, you guessed it, the year 2022. I am going to be entering my I am going to enter my early 20s on the next year of 2023. That's right, in 2023, I'm going to be entering my 20s. It is not a fun age, I'll tell you that. It's not a fun age range to be in. Going from 20 to 29 years old, getting in your 20s and then getting out of your 20s. That is not a fun age. I've been told by Ed, our friend. He is one of our friends. I met him the first time around and I loved him since then. We don't have time to talk about that. The only thing we are here to talk about, though, is how this island is gonna look. Is how this island is going to look when it's finished. We will add all sorts of we will add a couple of dead bushes, a couple dozen dead bushes. We will add that, and we will also add like an ocean separate from the island itself, of course, because you can't just, yeah, the ocean will be right next to the island, of course, and it will have water and everything. And there will be yet again a way to get there. It's just that you have to walk on sand instead of the puzzle in the usual jungle that we have over there. And I've forgotten to feed the outside birds. Yeah, it was like a day ago, but we don't have time to talk about that because anyway, we have this island to take care of. This is looking pretty good. We just need to add more detail into it. Like more, yeah, we need to add all the plants, all the trees, and stuff like that. I really should talk to you guys more about weird situations. Some of you are new to Awesome Kids TV, so I might as well tell a story about what my fellow YouTubers, my fellow Utes, have been through. Rebecca Parham has been through quite a lot of strange and weird and kind of awkward adventures before. But I think the craziest one was when she was a little kid. That's right, I'm talking about the backyard backyard stories. Those adventure stories that take place in Rebecca's backyard for when she and her freaking sister were kids. These took place when they were kiddos and did a lot of crazy and weirdly fun stuff before they got the internet. That was way before the internet, kids. The internet came out in 1989, by the way, and has been around since 1989, but we didn't get YouTube until 2005. We had to wait a long time for YouTube, but anyway, the island is now filled in and is now ready to rock and roll. It took me about 9 minutes to fill all that in. 9 minutes. 9 frickin' minutes. Anyway, we now add all the giant leaves and stuff. So this is where the giant leaves come in. We'll have a couple of these be spread out throughout the map, like in random spots. leaves are usually in random spots. So we're putting them in random spots. We'll have a gigantic one be right about here. We'll have a ginormous leaf made entirely out of these leaves, of course, be about right here. There you go, giant leaf right there. This is our regular sized leaf. There you go, we got a couple of these leaves. Now we need to add the trees themselves, and luckily for you guys, of course, we have trees right here. We have jungle, spruce, oak, dark oak, and even jungle, which I have in my inventory right now, and scattering. So we'll scatter these trees in random spots, like I said, throughout the entire map that we made a little while ago. Is that enough trees? Yeah, that's enough trees. Now I will go and get my bone meal. There's my bone meal. Now I grow the trees, and voila! I probably should have made giant ones, because I haven't made giant trees in a while. Giant jungle trees, I haven't made them in a while. But who cares? It's a crafting game. Who freaking cares? I don't flippin' care. I flippin' know. But anyway, when Rebecca Parham and her sister were younger, they and Jocko were playing in the backyard when Jocko needed to, quote unquote, release the hounds. But instead of going inside of the house and doing his business in the bathroom like a normal person, he popped a squat right in the freaking yard and made fertilizer out of it, and then his freaking dog ate it. Yeah, that's animal cruelty right there, by the way. Anyway, one time, Jocko found a lighter under a barbecue and told Rebecca and her sister Rachel that he wanted to make a campfire. And Rebecca and Rachel were all like, yeah, sure, sounds fun. But while they were gathering things to incinerate in their town of foolery of a fire, Jocko wanted to act all tough, so he pointed the lighter at Rebecca and her sister Rachel and freaking lit it. And it just so happened that at the time, their mother was doing dishes, and she saw that through the kitchen window and came out yelling at them. And unsurprisingly, Jocko had to go home. And at the time, Rebecca Parham was glad that she caught them too. They weren't even messing around at that frickin' point. They were gonna light a freaking fire to the hellstorms of the breaches, if you know what I mean. Laws, protect us from the unholy demons, the parrot children. Thank you, Jesus. Actually, Rebecca Parham's father, Mr. Parham, did actually call Rebecca Parham a firebug at one point because, she attended to like fire, and she still kind of loves fire to this frickin' day. What? It's warm and pretty and gets rid of evidence. Everything you could possibly want in a boyfriend or something if you're a girl or something. Which I don't think would be obvious right now. Anyway, there was also that one time where Jocko, Rachel, and Rebecca Parham were playing baseball when one of them threw the ball all the way over the fence and smacked down into the neighbor's yard. That's right. That's right. Rebecca's sister Rachel Parham threw the baseball all the way to the freaking neighbor's house. And at the time, their neighbor wasn't home, and their backyard gate was locked, and so Jocko came up with a brilliant idea of climbing all the way up to the neighbor up. So Jocko naturally came up with the idea of climbing all the way up the Param family's giant oak tree, massive oak tree, so that he can swing all the way over to the neighbor's tree, climb down and retrieve the ball. So he climbed up all the way to the top, and he was 15 feet off the ground. And Rachel and Rebecca just stood there patriotically going, "You're gonna fall. We're going to have to call the fire department to get you down." But unfortunately, that only strengthened Jocko's resolve of climbing the tree even more. Now strap in for this one, explainers. It gets good. If you're new explainers who are new to our channel, subscribe to them. Anyway, Jocko was 15 feet off the ground and grabbed a pencil-thin branch in his hands and actually tried to swing through the neighbor's tree like he was freaking Tarzan. And apparently Jocko had never ever in his life had ever seen a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, because if he did, then he would have known better. Who says cartoons raw your brain nowadays? Anyway, the branch snapped and he fell 15 feet off the ground. And bam! He smashed right through the neighbor's wet bar and screamed for help. And Rebecca and Rachel were all like, "Mom!" And not only did Jocko destroy that thing, no, he obliterated that thing. It was like a dinosaur had stepped on it, just went pfft. And he was screaming so loud that meanwhile his father, who was working on his garden at the time, heard his screaming and kicked in the neighbor's gate to get to him. And unfortunately, he had a broken arm, which Rebecca Parham and I are still surprised to this day. That's all that freaking happened. And from the damage Rebecca saw to that wet bar, at the very time she was very surprised that he was not dead. And she was surprised on the fact that there should have been fractured ribs or brain damage or anything. Jocko also had to pay the neighbor back for the wet bar just to add insult to injury. But this story for you new explainers and entertainers out there, ho ho ho, it gets good the further we go. One time, Rebecca and Rachel Parham were playing with the neighborhood kids in their backyard. What a coincidence there. They were playing baseball at the time. Anyway, Rebecca was batting and Rachel was batting. Rachel was pitching and Rebecca was batting, Rebecca Parham was pitching and Rachel Parham was batting, and she tossed her the ball. She hit it. It veered off it to the right and crashed and smashed right into their parents' bedroom window. And everyone in that backyard except Rachel hit the freaking deck. And their parents came racing outside to find Rachel Parham just standing there with bat in hand, absolutely flustered. And at the time, she was absolutely terrified. And both of their parents at the time were really mad, but their mother told her to go and get her piggy bank because she was gonna pay for it. Like, oh, you're paying for this window, go and get your piggy bank in your room. But their dad jumped in and said, hey, that's not fair. It's an accident. It was an accident. Every kid gets to break only one window with the baseball. Yeah, that was Rebecca and Rachel Parham's father for you. And apparently their father had never forgot what it was like to be a child, and so naturally he wanted his kids to have the most fulfilling childhood, including all the classic mistakes like breaking a window with a baseball and all that crap. But there is one story that kind of taunts me to this very day. And that is, of course, the story of how David got his scar. One day at the Parham household, Rebecca Parham was passing the time by taking a old fence post and laying it on the side of their raised garden beds, and started launching an array of different materials in the air. Rocks, grass, pebbles, sticks, anything. That is what they did before they had the internet, kiddos. That was what they did before they had the freaking internet. One day, Rebecca Parham wanted to launch a ball off her makeshift catapult, but there was a problem. And said problem was, of course, the ball would roll off automatically before she could launch it. Physics, who knew? Anyway, in order to complete her little experiment, she needed an assistant, so she called upon her little brother David by shouting, "Oh, David!" Her little brother David was about 3 at the time and was very sensible to suggestions, which worked out perfectly for Rebecca Parham, not so perfectly for David Parham. Yeah, he was named after the British guy David himself. Yeah, he was named after a guy named David from the United Kingdom. Anyway, Rebecca Parham told her little brother David Parham that he, on the count of 3, was going to put the ball onto the catapult so that she can quickly launch it before it rolled right off. Simple enough, wouldn't you say? But when Rebecca Parham counted to 3 to commence their experiment, David Parham did something a little unforeseen, and that little unforeseen thing was, well, he would lean down on the fence post directly on the fence post to very carefully place the ball. And by the time Rebecca Parham looked over and saw him doing that, it was too late. And the fence post, her entire weight came down, and the freaking fence post smacked him right in the flippin' face. And Rebecca Parham was all like, "Well, I'm dead. Time to save up for my Teddy Ruxpin." And David screamed at the top of his lungs and ran inside to Mom and Dad, who were not happy at all. David's entire face swelled up, and there was a puncture wound that was maybe an inch away from his eyeball. And that is how he got the scar he has to this very day. And of course, Rebecca Parham, his brother at the time, got into a lot of trouble with her parents, and they yelled at her that she could have easily blinded him, even though it was an accident and he wasn't supposed to put his frickin' face all over the flippin' catapult. But she felt very bad. So bad, in fact, that she felt bad even years later into adulthood when somebody brought up this story. But a couple of years later, she animated it and shown it to 1 million people, and so it has no effect on her whatsoever anymore. Animation, Rebecca Parham's antidepressant. Now all you guys and gals out there know why you should never, ever, ever smack your little sibling in the face with nothing but a fence post and your entire freaking weight. I am a multilingual impressionist. Sorry about that. Anyway, this whole entire build is looking very fabulous right now, as you can plainly see. It's got everything an island needs. Of course, it needs trees, loads of them, bushes and other types of plant life, and more. Now that we got the islands all taken care of, we can now make that ocean next to that one island. The ocean is right next to the first island, and of course it surrounds it, so we're gonna make it surround that island. Now we add more dead bushes. That's right, more dead bushes. We'll add a couple over here, and a couple over there, and a couple everywhere. Now we add more dead bushes over in this direction. We'll add more over there, and we will scatter some jungle leaves. We'll scatter some. We'll put a couple around the island. Now we grow our green friends here. Or try to, at least. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. Tree man in the house. Growing trees? What? Yeah, I know people don't say what anymore, but yeah, I don't stay that current for so long. Not unlike Norm from Phineas and Ferb, one of my favorite Disney cartoons of all time. I mean, how could you not love that funny cartoon? It's hilarious. It's so freaking hilarious. I could watch it over and over. But wait a minute, I can watch it over and over. There we go. We're almost done growing all the plants, all the trees that we could possibly grow around here. If we had a nature sounds app installed, we would play nature sounds and like make it look more realistic. There we go. Those are all the trees over here. Now we gotta make that ocean that surrounds this place. It has to be far from the actual island because you don't want it to be too close. I know this seems dangerous, but hey, I'm doing the best I can. Alright, stand back, Mr. Sheep, sir. You might want to stand back. Yep. There we go. We got our ocean. Oh, no. Don't worry, Jungle Tree. I gotcha. Jungle Wood. There you go, Jungle Trees. You're all good. Now we patch this all up, add water, and we are good. We got a lot of sand patches. We got a lot of patches to put in, and we built this for 30 minutes. It took us 30 minutes to build all this. 30 minutes. 30. Oh, I need a break after all this. Oh boy. There we go. Fill all that in. Look at the damage we caused over here when we blew the TNT up. When we were blowing this up. Sorry, trees. I had to warn you. You might want to stand back. Tap 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 tap. I can say "ta" pretty fast. There you go. Fill those sandless areas in Island. This whole entire build will come alive soon enough. There we go. I should have used one TNT at a time. Oh, look at all these bedrock patches I have to fill. Oh, this will take me so long. Alright, we gotta go. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.